Finally tonight here, our Made in America is back, and so is a longtime summer tradition, hitting the open road.
The R-vee crash is here, and it's brutal. Dealers are begging, owners are walking, and rigs worth six figures in 2024 are being dumped for pennies in 2025. Families can't keep up with the payments, and gas, insurance, and repairs just keep rising. The so-called freedom lifestyle became a debt trap built on hype and cheap parts. In this video, we're counting down the 12 models that lost it all, and showing you how to dodge the next wave before your savings get towed away. Forest River, the falling giants of the driveway. They used to be the kings of the campground. Forest River, the name stitched into half the hitch trailers on America's highways, symbolized weekend freedom. But in 2025, that crown feels heavier. Sales data and dealer reports tell a clear story. The brand's mid-range lines, Salem, Rockwood, and Wildwood, have slipped faster in resale than almost any others in their class. What happened? The market shifted underneath them. During the boom, tens of thousands of first-time buyers rushed in, paying retail for units built at record speed. Those rigs flooded the resale market this year. A 2024 Rockwood Mini Lite that once listed near $43,000 now struggles to fetch $28,500, a loss of roughly one-third its value. Dealers call it inventory drag. Owners call it heartbreak. Forest River still builds reliable, family-friendly rigs, but rising gas, insurance, and campground costs changed perception. Even lightweight towables feel expensive. When trust fades, value collapses. That shiny Salem or Wildwood isn't just discounted, it's discounted for a reason, and buyers notice. But the tumble doesn't end with towables. The next model proves that even luxury diesel power can't outrun gravity when confidence leaves the market. Thor 4 Winds and Thor Chateau, the mass market slide. Listen closely, because this one stings for a lot of everyday families. The Thor 4 Winds and its twin, the Thor Chateau, once defined the middle-class dream of the open road, affordable, accessible, and everywhere. In 2025, that dream is colliding with reality. These rigs flooded the market after the pandemic rush. Thousands were sold between 2020 and 2024, many to first-time owners. Now those same units are coming back all at once. Used 2024, 4 Winds, once priced near $132,000, now list below $87,500. Oversaturation killed exclusivity, collapsing value. Even Ford reliability can't save flooded markets. When everyone buys the same R-vee, everyone falls together. Next, we move from the fleet-friendly and familiar to the family favorite that once defined dependability, until depreciation rewrote its legacy. If this list has already surprised you, hit that like button and drop your thoughts below. Which R-vee's fall shocked you most? Your comment might help someone avoid the same mistake. Winnebago Mini Winnie, the trusted name that lost its shine. There was a time when the Winnebago Mini Winnie meant certainty. Families saw it as the dependable face of the open road. Not too big, not too small, just right. But in 2025, that steady symbol of middle-range comfort is quietly collapsing in resale value. Dealers whisper it first, then owners admit it aloud. The numbers tell a humbling truth. A 2024 Mini Winnie 26T left the factory with a sticker near $137,900. Today, used listings circle $89,600. That is a fall of roughly 35% in a single calendar year. The culprit is not poor quality. Winnebago still builds a solid coach. It is market fatigue. The shelves are full, financing tightened, interest rates pushed families out. Suddenly, dependable turned disposable. Many units were bought at pandemic peaks when buyers rushed to travel without airports. Now, those same owners face higher fuel, storage, and insurance costs. They are cutting losses fast. The result? Dozens of identical Mini Winnies competing for every hesitant buyer. Value slips one listing at a time until confidence disappears entirely. And yet, hidden in that fall is a reminder: reputation cannot defy economics. Even icons sink when the tide turns. We have seen the faithful fall, but next comes a brand that promised first-time freedom and instead became a warning label for anyone entering the market in 2025. Entegra Coach, the luxury that lost its luster. Luxury once had a sound. The hush of an Entegra coach gliding down the interstate, insulated, serene, and unmistakably refined. For years, the Aspire and Anthem lines stood as rolling penthouses, crafted to perfection and priced to match. But in 2025, the silence inside those cabins is matched only by the quiet on the resale lot. Demand has fallen, and the depreciation is brutal. A 2024 Entegra Aspire 42 DEQ, originally priced near $525,000, now moves at auctions for about $338,000. a loss of nearly 36%. The Anthem 45Z fares no better, dipping over $170,000 within a single model year. What happened? Interest rates climbed, luxury lending tightened. Even affluent buyers hesitated to finance $500,000 motorhomes that cost more to store than some houses to rent. Manufacturers overbuilt, demand vanished, and discounts crushed used values. The once premier Coach became an anchor of lost equity. Prestige without liquidity fades quickly. Even the finest motorhome cannot escape market gravity when confidence collapses and excess turns ownership into burden. And if handcrafted elegance can stumble this hard, what hope remains for the high-volume taubles that once promised affordability? Coachmen Freelander, the workhorse that worked too hard. You have seen it on highways from Maine to Monterey. The Coachmen Freelander, that white and tan Class C gas motorhome perched on a Ford chassis, hauling families toward campgrounds and coastlines. For years, it was the people's motorhome, reliable, reachable, and ready. But in 2025, even the workhorse is limping. A 2024 Freelander 27 QB once carried a window sticker of roughly $128,400. On today's used market, the same coach lists for around $81,900, a depreciation near 36% in barely 12 months. That number alone tells a harsh truth. Oversupply crushed the middle tier. During the pandemic boom, rental fleets bulk ordered thousands of Freelander units to meet short-term demand. Those fleets are now offloading them by the hundreds, all competing for the same limited pool of buyers. The Freelander's reliability and family-focused design remain strong, yet oversupply and shifting trends hurt it. Too many built, too many returned, and gas rigs lost appeal. Ultimately, it was the right motorhome sold at the wrong time in saturation. And while middle-class motorhomes struggle for survival, the next name on this list proves that even handcrafted luxury cannot escape the pull of depreciation's downward road. Airstream Basecamp, the icon that outran its own shadow. It gleamed like a promise. The Airstream Basecamp, a silver capsule of wanderlust shaped by nostalgia and marketed with adventure in every curve. For a while, it worked. The Basecamp became the Instagram idol of weekend warriors and minimalist dreamers. But in 2025, that same shine now reflects a sobering reality. Fashion fades faster than aluminum can hold its polish. A 2024 Airstream Basecamp 20X rolled off the lot at about $56,400. Today, barely a year later, listings hover near $36,900. A loss approaching 35%. The reason is not poor craftsmanship. Airstream still builds to aerospace standards. It is market fatigue. Too many buyers chased the same aesthetic. Too many influencers turned a niche into a norm. And when supply met saturation, prices tumbled. Even loyal owners feel the sting. Repairs and parts are premium, insurance climbed, and the trailer's minimalist design limits long-term comfort. Buyers realized the Basecamp looked better in photos than in 4 weeks of real travel. Its cult status collapsed under its own popularity. Still, the fall carries meaning. It shows that brand prestige cannot outpace market reality. Beauty sells fast, but value disappears faster. And if even an American icon can lose its shine, what happens when luxury diesel meets rising rates? Forest River Rockwood Mini Light, the lightweight that couldn't stay lifted. It was supposed to be the perfect compromise, compact, efficient, and easy to tow. The Forest River Rockwood Mini Light became the sweetheart of suburban driveways, promising big rig comfort in a half-ton package. Yet in 2025, that promise is slipping through owners' hands like sand. Dealers whisper about a market correction. Owners call it a collapse. A 2024 Rockwood Mini Light 2509S carried a sticker of roughly $43,400. Today, used lots advertise the same trailer near $28,600, a plunge of around 34% in a single year. The cause? Oversaturation. During the pandemic surge, Forest River built record numbers of Mini Light models, feeding a wave of first-time campers. When travel normalized, that wave rolled back, leaving dealer lots stacked 3 deep. At the same time, rising insurance rates and storage costs pushed part-time owners to sell. Online marketplaces filled with nearly identical listings, each one cutting price just to get noticed. The lightweight champion of 2021 now sits heavy in depreciation statistics. Still, there is no shame in the Mini Light's fall. It is simply a reflection of supply, timing, and shifting priorities. People are chasing smaller, smarter, even solar-ready designs. The market moved on faster than the model did. And if a once beloved lightweight trailer can sink this fast, What happens when $500,000 luxury coaches meet the same headwind? Tiffin Allegro, the crown that lost its weight. For decades, the Tiffin Allegro was the name whispered with respect at every campground. It stood for craftsmanship, for loyalty, for Alabama-built pride that never bent to mass production. Yet in 2025, even this legend feels the drag of gravity. The market has turned, and the Allegro's gleam is dimming under the pressure of modern economics. A 2024 Tiffin Allegro Red 38KA once left the factory wearing a price tag near $472,500. On resale today, dealers whisper numbers around $302,800, a loss of roughly 36% in just 12 months. The fall is not because Tiffin forgot how to build. It is because the buyers who could once afford one are now staring down double-digit loan rates and insurance premiums that rival mortgages. The Allegro's strength, its size, its diesel power, its luxurious weight, has become its weakness. Fuel costs rose, storage costs climbed, and families who once dreamed of the open highway now dream of downsizing. Inventory piled up, values slipped, and prestige turned into patience on the lot. Still, respect remains. The Allegro did not fail. The market shifted beneath it. What was once the pinnacle of reliability is now a monument to timing. But if an industry icon like Tiffin can lose a third of its worth in one short year, imagine what happens to the next contender, a name built entirely on image and influence. If you're finding this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. New deep dives every week. Real numbers, real risks, and the truths every RV owner needs. Newmar Ventana, the quiet giant that finally fell. Some names carry weight without ever raising their voice. The Newmar Ventana was one of them. The coach you bought when you wanted elegance without arrogance, refinement without flash. But in 2025, even quiet giants tremble. The Ventana's resale numbers tell a story that luxury owners never expected to hear. A 2024 Ventana 43. 46 left the showroom near $498,000. Today, its resale value hovers close to $311,000. A breathtaking drop of about 37%. That kind of loss in one short year would have been unthinkable for Newmar a decade ago. The problem isn't the product. Newmar's craftsmanship is still among the best. The problem is scale, timing, and cost. Dealers overstocked, expecting the luxury rebound that never came. Diesel prices climbed to levels unseen since the last fuel shock. Insurance premiums followed, and suddenly, the well-heeled buyers who once filled Newmar's order books began holding their wallets tighter. Inventory sat, values slid, and the Ventana, long considered a fortress of resale strength, became another casualty of market correction. Still, inside every Ventana, the details remain flawless. The fall isn't about failure. It's about environment. Even excellence can lose altitude when headwinds grow this strong. From quiet luxury to mass market movement, the next model shows how fast confidence collapses when too many chase the same affordable dream. Winnebago Revel, the trail hero that lost its compass. It once defined independence. The Winnebago Revel roared into the market as a symbol of self-reliance, a 4x4 van built for those who refuse to wait for perfect weather or perfect plans. For a while, it was unstoppable. Campers, photographers, and full-time nomads fought for allocations. But in 2025, that demand has turned into silence. The once untouchable Revel is suddenly losing direction in a slowing market. A 2024 Revel 44E originally listed around $213,000. 1 year later, used prices hover near $116,800, a fall of roughly 45%. That plunge shocks even veteran dealers. The cause is a mix of timing and saturation. Winnebago ramped up production just as consumer confidence began to slide. Meanwhile, Ford's transit-based competitors offered lower-priced adventure vans with longer range and easier maintenance. Fuel costs rose, insurance followed, interest rates climbed, and suddenly, the high-end van life dream looked more like a liability than liberation. Listings now linger for months while new buyers wait for deeper cuts. The icon of freedom is learning what every luxury product eventually learns. Scarcity fuels value, and abundance erases it. Still, the Revel remains beautifully engineered, just trapped in an economy that stopped applauding. The open road hasn't changed, only the cost of chasing it. But if a 4x4 Freedom machine can lose nearly half its worth in a single season, what chance does the next All-American Classic have? We're about to find out. Jayco Greyhawk, the family favorite that lost its footing. For years, the Jayco Greyhawk was the picture of practicality. Families loved it because it blended comfort, space, and price in perfect proportion. It carried the trust of a brand known for decades of solid craftsmanship. But in 2025, that trust is being tested. The Greyhawk's dependable reputation depreciation is colliding headfirst with a market that no longer rewards predictability. A 2024 Greyhawk 31 Fest launched with a sticker near $142,700. Now, only 12 months later, average resale listings hover around $93,100, a depreciation of roughly 35%. The cause lies not in design flaws, but in shifting conditions. Too many dealers stocked too many mid-range Class C rigs during the boom years. When demand cooled, discounts hit the new models first, crushing used prices overnight. Fuel prices rose, loan approvals tightened, and suddenly the family R-vee that once felt attainable now feels like a burden waiting to happen. Owners who financed at pandemic-era premiums are discovering that their equity vanished before the first anniversary payment. The Greyhawk didn't fail mechanically. It simply met an economy that punished reliability. Still, its interior remains inviting, its performance steady. The market may have changed, but the heart of the Greyhawk hasn't. It just costs more to believe in it now. And yet, even this family staple isn't the steepest fall. The next R-vee once wore a badge of reliability so strong people thought it was untouchable, until this year proved otherwise. Thor Axis, the compact revolution that ran out of road. It was built to be bold. The Thor Axis, part motorhome, part crossover, marketed as the recreational utility vehicle. For years, that idea worked. It promised Class A comfort in a nimble, city-friendly shell. The 24.1 and 26.1 floor plans turned heads for families who wanted freedom without the bulk. But in 2025, that revolution has stalled. The Axis, once the clever compromise, is now the clearest casualty of an overcrowded market. A 2024 Thor Axis 24.1 carried a factory sticker around $171,400. Today, used listings average near $109,700, a collapse of about 36%. Dealers describe them as frozen inventory. The culprit is visibility. Thor sold so many during the pandemic surge that by 2025, nearly every lot had rows of them waiting for buyers who no longer exist. Operating costs rose, loan rates doubled. Insurance and storage made ownership feel heavier than the rig itself. Even loyal owners are stepping away, calling it a luxury lifestyle trapped in a gas tank. The Axis didn't fail in function. It failed in timing. When demand vanished, depreciation took the wheel. And still, it remains a symbol of ambition, a clever idea that met an unforgiving market. Freedom shrank, but the lesson grew larger. Innovation means nothing when oversupply drowns desire. From icons to newcomers, every drop on this list proves the same truth. In 2025, the R-vee dream didn't die. It just got discounted. The R-vee market isn't collapsing. It's resetting, and awareness is your best defense. Every dip hides a warning. Every deal hides a trap. Learn, adapt, and drive smarter. Subscribe, stay alert, and never buy blind again. The next crash starts quietly.